gratitude. Sounds simple. And, practicing it every day, all day is something that I try to do. And sometimes I have bad days and sometimes I have good, but I'm very grateful for where I'm at and what I'm doing. And even when I have a bad day, I'm grateful for what I've learned from it. And I think if you build that into your every day and every week and every month, it really has the effect that changes your life and then the folks around you too. It's just daily gratitude.
Hello, everybody. I am Melissa Forziat of Take the Doughnut, here to help you get inspiration and get donuts. I'm a motivational keynote speaker, but today I'm bringing you another Take the Doughnut interview with the one and only Nicole Hankins. Let me tell you a little bit about Nicole. She is the Senior Vice President at SP+, but also the chair of the Women in Parking Association. So Nicole, first of all, welcome. Welcome to your Take the Doughnut interview.
So excited. Thank you very much. Thank you for asking me.
Very glad to have you. And I'm excited to have this conversation because I'm getting ready to do a keynote at the Women in Parking Association's annual conference this year. But it was a great opportunity to start talking with you and have it lead to this conversation where we get to know each other a little bit better.
Well, we are excited to have you, and it's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I cannot wait to see you in person at the conference, but I'm excited about today, so thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, this is so we have really serious topics to get to, but let's start with a fun one. What is your favorite donut?
So I love this question, and I love the whole donut, and I love the story behind it, and I have a really good answer, and I don't know, maybe it's a weird answer, but I'm going to go with an apple fritter.
Woo.
and so where I'm taking that one is, I don't think it's a donut. I think it's a donut, but I think it's kind of the free thinker of the donuts. So I'm taking the apple fritter theme, say that 5 times fast, and kind of thinking that that's the rebel of the donuts. And I like that one. So I want to think outside the donut box. How's that?
I hadn't originally anticipated that it would go this way with these interviews, but I'm finding that like the type of donut is really one of those quizzes where it's like, tell me who you are by telling me what your favorite donut is. You're like, I don't even know if it's a donut. But it's my
but I'm like, do I put this on my LinkedIn page now? Is that where I need to go with this donut thing?
I say go for it. Let's go outside the box. Let's go for apple fritters all day.
We're going to talk about this donut question with my team too. So you have started something with the donuts.
Oh, this is going to be fun. It'll be interesting to see if it matches with the personality types. Well, I said a little bit about your bio, but so little. So tell us if there's anything more you want us to know about you as we get into the conversation.
No, I would love to share. So first, I'm a mom. I have 2 beautiful children, and they're one's 18 and one's 15. And I'm a wife, and I'm a 20-year parking veteran. So I have been in the parking industry for over 20 years, and it's a proud moment for me because you jump in thinking, gosh, this is not something that I'd ever want to do, and figure out this is something I really love to do. And what brings me joy is I've been allowed to head up a women's leadership group within our company, and then also currently head up the Women in Parking. I'm getting to chair and support that wonderful group of women. So it's kind of a gift, and that's kind of who I am. And it evolves around making all those things work kind of all at once. So.
You have a lot going on. And I think that just, you're very high functioning, and that's very exciting. And who knows, where this conversation is going to go, because we've started to reference the theme of this quite a bit here already, but this is a Take the Doughnut interview. And what that means, for those who don't know, I'm linking a video here so that you can see the origin story. But basically, Take the Doughnut means carpe diem for me. It means seize the opportunity. And it comes from this strange thing that happened in college where I left a donut on a table, and it became an object lesson for me in what it looks like to literally and figuratively leave an opportunity on the table, making me want to not do that again. So take the donut means go after the thing that you want. So that's what this conversation is today. Look, we're talking about what it looks like to go after the things that you want in life or in business for that matter. So I want to open this question up to you, to Nicole, to start with. How are you with going after what you want, with going after goals? What's that process like for you?
Well, I think all kinds. We have, it's funny. My team and I just did the Strength Finders 2.0, and it tells you what kind of leader you are and how to, emphasize and support your strengths and work on your weaknesses and turn them into strengths. And, I look at my goals and how do I best, get those accomplished. And I think if it was 10 years ago, my brain is a little bit of a hurricane and amazing things happen in there. But for me, I figured out that I have to be very intentional with my goals, and I have to put them out, and I have to write them and process them. But then for me also is to collaborate on the goals. Whenever you lead a team or support a team, my goals are my team's goals. And so a goal is not a goal if you don't have collaboration, and maybe it's not the right goal. So having the collaboration along the way is very important. And then part of it too is we always have lots of goals. And so when you're on that journey, are you enjoying the journey getting to the goal? Because what is that? It's not the destination, it's the journey kind of thing. So when you set the goal, don't forget to enjoy the process of getting to it and succeeding it and then celebrating it when you get there, because tomorrow there'll be another goal.
What's your favorite way to celebrate a goal?
You know what? It's really simple. It's just stopping and taking a moment and saying thank you. And we did this. Like we did this. Like let's just pause. Because I think we're a society of let's hurry up and get to the next thing. Let's hurry up and move it on. But I think we sometimes forget to just take a breath. And I say that, I have to say it to myself because I don't take a breath sometimes, is just to pause and say, hey, thanks, Melissa. Thanks for having me on this podcast today. Or thanks for talking to me about all these cool and interesting things that you wouldn't think of on a day-to-day basis that you probably should. So
yeah, you're right. We're really always on the move, and
yeah.
Taking that moment to pause sounds like a great thing to do. But when you're on your way there, because I'm sure, especially knowing, the types of things that you've accomplished, some of these goals are really big and they're going to take some time, and there's going to be a process to get there. What keeps you motivated when you're going through that process?
There's a couple different things. What it's funny, and I have to put a plug in for SP Plus, but we have a saying this year. It's called "Making Moments Matter," and it's for the world on the go. And that kind of ties into, you got to stop and you have to make it matter for yourself, for your team, for your clients, for our customers. But in doing that, how does that process work and how do we make it matter? We take a block for my team. We take blocks of our calendar and we're intentional, and we just say, okay, this is what we're going to do for this hour, because the phone will ring. A dog will bark if you're working from home. Something will inevitably happen. But if you block your calendar and intentionally set that goal and that time to take care of it, we find that works. And then we've got a bunch of really amazing creative people. We take a whiteboard, and it's funny. I'm sitting in the back, there's a glass window, and I've gotten markers, and I write all over the window. They wipe off. we whiteboard. And I think that's a go-to, but it's fun because it gets your creative juices flowing. And it's great to do with my team. It's fun to do with. And then a lot of the times too, we make a list of what are our limiting beliefs and how do we get rid of them? Because I think there's a lot of limiting beliefs out there, and they're just that. They're limiting beliefs. And so we talk about them and we put them on the table, and we find that helps within the process. And then we throw away the donut box. So we get rid of the donut box. We don't need that box. If we think outside of that donut box, I think we're better off for it. Like there's more than one way to get a donut or eat a donut or buy a donut or however you want to roll the donut thing in there. But we find if we stay within that box, we don't get this amazing result that we're all capable of.
Yeah. So when you think about this process, either you're for yourself as an individual or even for the team, are there specific types of challenges that you tend to encounter when you're going after goals? Maybe it's like a certain brand of challenges that just seems to keep coming up every time.
Yeah, I think human nature sometimes is, and we just had a meeting today. We came up with all the things that we couldn't do. And instead of going over the things that we couldn't do, which is just where your brain goes, we're like, well, we can't do that. Well, we can't do that. We turned it around and said, okay, tell us what we can do. And those are the challenges. And once you turn, it's kind of a fun game. You're like, turn those around to the things that you can do, and your outcome and the product that you put out it's fun, and you're going to end up with a better result.
Yeah, it's more of the what's possible instead
What's
of
possible.
the,
We all know what we can't do, but even within what we can't, what can you do? Just tell me what you can do is usually what I say. And I usually get an eye roll every once in a while, but it's a fun game now because that's where your brain goes. You're like, oh my gosh, you can't do that. Yes, we can. Let's talk about what we can do.
yeah, it's a great way to reframe the conversation. So if you think back historically, and this could be anything, this could be professional, this could be personal, this could be recent or long past, what is the biggest donut you've ever taken?
It's a really good question. I think it's the self-talk, right? So I started 20 years ago, and I have been supported by wonderful, wonderful people around me, or I wouldn't be sitting here. And both from people that I've worked with and folks that have worked with me. But I think it's what goes on inside of here, and do I belong at the table? So there's not a lot of women in our industry at a high level, and it's changing. It's changing very quickly. And I think it's the self-talk. I hear that, well, are you sure you should be here? Are you sure you get? And I think that's been the biggest hurdle to overcome. And now when I sit at a table, and I still to this day, I think I would be fibbing if I didn't tell you I didn't have some self-talk still. But now I intentionally have that positive self-talk of, I deserve to be here. I belong here. And we all put our pants on the same way and we all belong at this table. And having that diversity at the table for me brings lots of different ideas from lots of different perspective. And that's the way that I look at it. And it's getting rid of that self-talk. I deserve to be here. I've earned to be here. I belong here. And it's okay to make a mistake because I'm going to learn from it. So
Yeah.
it was a long-winded answer. I hope that
No,
was
I mean, that
note.
was beautifully said. And I think, it's interesting because it is in a way kind of the biggest donut to take because it's like almost on a cellular level. I think sometimes self-talk, it is words we say to ourselves, but sometimes it's just like in us and we don't even have to say the words. It's just steering our decisions and our movements. And so the fact that you're finding ways to interrupt that is sort of a lifelong pursuit,
And it's
but
so
a big
funny.
one.
Well, I have a daughter who's 18 and she grew up with me within this company. And we have a video that we did when she was younger, and it was for the WHIP, which is an organization for women within our company. And she says in that video, and I'll never forget it, she said, I'm going to be the next CEO. And I think she's like 6, right? She knows no boundaries. She knows no limits. She doesn't have the self-talk. And here I am mothering this beautiful human being, and I have the self-talk, but I can call it out and tell her how to have it. So I think it's a good lesson to overcome those barriers and know that, look at this child, this amazing child, and now she is a teacher and she is teaching other children, and it's fun to watch her grow, and she knows no boundaries. She just says, I can do it. I don't see why I can't. So I look at her and I think, gosh, Nicole, maybe practice what you preach.
You must be doing it somewhat, to be able to pass that lesson on. It has to come from somewhere. And so there's that. You can at least feel good about that. But
well, and you meet wonderful people like yourself, Melissa, that help you along the way, that you're like, aha, didn't think of the donut before. So
I think we're constantly having to reinforce things like this for ourselves. In fact, me doing Take the Doughnut conversations, I am actively telling myself to take the donut. Sometimes I'm like, oh, should I talk to this person? Should I do this thing? Should I do that? I'm like, remember what you tell everybody else.
That's it.
It's been a really good reminder to just like get up and do things.
Put yourself out there and do it. What's the worst that's going to happen?
It's so true. It's so true. So we've been talking a little bit about the donut that you've been taking, but what's in progress? Is there something that you've got on the radar right now, a donut you're trying to take?
Well, I think for me, and what brings a lot of joy, is the women in parking.
Yeah.
My job brings joy, and what I get to do with my teams bring joy. But the Women in Parking organization and being able to support women in leadership positions is a huge piece of joy. But then also I'm lucky enough to serve an amazing team, and watching folks that work with you and for you be promoted and grow, and watching their careers grow is fun. And that's the biggest joy and biggest success in your own career, is watching someone succeed and being able to support and be a part of it. I think you can't can't ever, it's a feeling that you can't describe, but it's almost like a proud, not just a mom moment, but a professional moment of, that's a wonderful thing. It really is fun to watch.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, you've been starting to address this through in really all of your answers, which tells me how nurturing you are in a way, but let's do the sprinkle some encouragement section.
Yay!
There may be some people who are listening to this who have a donut they want to take. They know what they're looking to do, but they're not sure how to go about it. What advice or suggestions would you give to those people?
So I have two, and one is find your passion and build it into your job. I think you have done that with what you're doing, and this is your passion and it shows. And I think finding your passion, I go back to a gentleman that loved skiing and loved snowboarding. And that is his passion. That is his people. That is what he likes to do. And he built it into his career. And he built it into what we do in the parking industry. And finding your passion and what makes you happy, whether it's with people, whether it's in a certain industry, but finding something that makes you happy is a good thing in life, both personally and professionally. And then the second is gratitude. Sounds simple. And practicing it every day, all day is something that I try to do. And sometimes I have bad days and sometimes I have good, but I'm very grateful for where I'm at and what I'm doing. And even when I have a bad day, I'm grateful for what I've learned from it. And I think if you build that into your every day and every week and every month, it really has the effect that changes your life and then the folks around you too. It's just daily gratitude.
Beautifully said.
So.
Beautifully said. Well, tell us where we can find you, and this can be a plug for anything that you want to mention. I can include links in the description, but tell us what you want us to know.
I would love to see everyone September 18th. And that is where they can see you too. So they can see us both at the same time at the Women in Parking Conference. It's an Accelerate Conference. Again, September 18th. And it is on a Monday and it goes all day long. And they can see both of us share our words of wisdom and inspire people, hopefully. And they will walk away with nuggets of wisdom. But I would love to see everyone there.
Perfect. I would too. I'll second
Good.
that.
Thank you.
So everybody be sure to check that out. I'll get those links in the description where you can find out how to do that. And, thank you for that, Nicole. And for those of you who enjoyed this conversation and want to hear more conversations like it, be sure to like and subscribe on this video so that you can get other Take the Doughnut interviews down the road. Thank you so much, Nicole, for carving out the time for talking with us about the things that you want to go after in life and what your process looks like for that.
Thank you, Melissa. It's an absolute pleasure. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Okay, everybody, you know what to do. Get inspiration, get donuts. Bye.